Everything seemed fine as toddler Ben played outside in the hot summer sun. Moments later, he'd vanished. 20 years on, his mum is still haunted by his disappearance. The tabloids were full of it. A blue-eyed, blonde British toddler had gone missing on a Greek holiday island. In the summer of 1991, the story of Ben Needham made a huge splash. Britain was shocked by the disappearance of 21-month-old Ben Needham from his family home on the Greek island of Kos.
We've heard nothing from Kos at all. Just hoping that Scotland Yard and the police here can try and do something, because there's just been no developments at all from the time he went missing.
It's been 20 years since Ben disappeared, but his mum Kerry has never given up hope of finding him.
I was 17 when Ben was born, just going on 18. Being a mum at that age was frightening, I suppose, you know, not knowing if I was equipped to do a proper job or anything like that. But from the moment that the doctors told me and confirmed that I was pregnant, I was so happy, so happy. He was always wanted to be the centre of attention. He was always playing, he was always smiling, he was always happy. He was funny, loving, naughty sometimes. It was everything in a child that you could wish for. It was my angel.
At the time Ben went missing, his family were living on the island of Kos. Kerry often left Ben with her mother Christine while she went to work.
My brother and my father were renovating an old farmhouse for a Greek guy. It was a job. My dad's a builder. I dropped Ben off at my mum's that morning. Ben was just playing outside the farmhouse, just being a normal toddler. Around 2:30 that afternoon, my brother left because there was no more work to be done that day. And Ben was still outside the farmhouse door, just playing.
Christine took her eye off Ben for just a minute while she went inside the farmhouse. Moments later, she noticed Ben had gone very quiet.
She just went outside the doorway and he wasn't there. He'd vanished completely.
At first, Christine thought Ben had wandered off down the farm track. She began searching the property. But after 4 hours, it became clear that Ben had disappeared. His grandparents called the police. The authorities, alongside Ben's family, began combing the island. And the next day, they uncovered a promising lead. Local builders had seen a white car parked on the lane around the time Ben went missing.
When he first disappeared, Mum didn't think that he could have got to the bottom of that lane in that short space of time. We find it very unlikely that he did. It was possible for somebody to be waiting in that lane and come round the back way of the farmhouse and take Ben from there.
Despite a lengthy investigation into the possible links between Ben and the car, none has ever been found. Kerry moved back to England in 1991 and had a daughter, Leanna, who's grown up in the shadow of a brother she's never seen.
Even though I don't know him, I know so much about him and what he was like as a child and things like that, and what we can imagine him to be like now. I just always have that brother-sister bond. Every day Ben's in our thoughts. We always do spare a moment to think about him, like what could he be doing today? Has he got a family? What's he doing with his life?
I think it's obviously in her heart, it's in her blood. She wants to find her brother as much as I want to find my son and my mum and dad with the, it's their grandson. We're all as equally determined to do whatever it takes.
Well, Ben's sister Leanna is unwell, so she and Kerry aren't able to be here with us today. But PC Jane Morley of South Yorkshire Police, who's their family liaison officer, is here with us now. I know you've been working with them for some years. How do you help them?
Basically, I've been working with Kerry and Leanna now since 2005. I'm there to support them, really, someone to listen to them, be there if they need someone on the end of the phone for them.
And have you noticed changes in Kerry over those years that you've worked with them?
I have, yeah. I've seen her grow a lot stronger. I think she's become a lot more positive about the future, and she's more determined in the fight to find Ben. And
it's a strange position for Leanna because she was born after Ben had gone missing, but she's still involved very much in it, isn't she?
She is. She's been brought up, obviously, with the search for Ben, and she's very focused on helping her mum in looking for Ben.
OK, so it's very much part of their family structure, their family life still.
It is, of course it is. He's part of the family and they're looking for him.
20 years on, OK.
Yeah.
Well, over the years, the mystery has only deepened, but the family's determination has never wavered. 20 years ago, toddler Ben Needham was playing with his grandparents on the Greek island of Kos. They turned their backs for a moment and he was gone.
Ben's disappearance is a complete mystery of how he got so far away from us in just 1 minute, as though someone had just lifted him. But we just don't know.
Our family's just ripped apart. We can't stand it anymore. If we don't find him, we're just going to go to pieces. We're just going to fade away.
His family were plunged into a major missing persons investigation on a remote Greek island where the police had few resources.
Kos police, in the beginning, I think we found quite difficult to deal with. One, I think they weren't equipped to deal with an abduction case, maybe through no fault of their own. You know, they're island police officers, they're not trained, they're not CID, they're not FBI, they're just island police officers that are used to dealing with tourist crime, not a child abduction or murders or anything like that.
Mistakes were made in the first few hours. Ferries leaving the island weren't checked and it took 2 days to alert the airport. The family stayed on the island for 7 weeks assisting the police with a slow and painstaking search, but there was no sign of Ben.
I've just got to keep that hope for Ben's sake, because we love him too much to give up. Won't give up.
As the years went by, Kerry and her parents worked tirelessly to keep Ben in the public eye. Then suddenly, in 1998, police turned up a significant new lead. A British tourist spotted a blonde boy on the island of Rhodes, 50 miles from Kos. He chatted to the boy and, while ruffling his hair, grabbed a strand of it for testing.
From the pictures we've seen of the little boy, there's a lot of similarities to Ben, the way he looks, the way he acts. We're trying not to build our hopes up too much, just in case it turns out not to be Ben. But obviously, you know, we're very hopeful because we want him back.
But DNA testing proved it wasn't Ben.
There's been quite a few like that are heart-wrenching. You know, the information sounds spot on. You know, you think the nightmare's finally ended, but when you get there and you see that child, you know instantly that it wasn't Ben. There's been quite a lot that are like that.
Over the years, Kerry has remained convinced that Ben is out there somewhere, and so is her daughter, Leanna.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and that's my mum's the living definition of that. My mum is incredibly strong, and she'll never give up. I don't think any of us will. None of us.
Why has he got a stick? Because he was playing golf and the golf clubs were too big for him.
Kerry and Leanna are trying everything they can to reach Ben, even getting an artist to create an image of what he'd look like as an adult.
See, when Ben disappeared, the internet didn't exist, mobile phones didn't even exist. So now, as obviously, you know, the world's moved forward, we can actually bring Ben's case forward into, you know, the 21st century, really.
A new website's been made for Ben's campaign. We organised a Balloon for Ben week. Everyone sent their photographs in of releasing a balloon and like wishing that Ben would be safe and well and found.
Ben could be anywhere in the world. You know, it's not saying that he's necessarily in Greece. The more people that are aware that Ben is missing, the better chance we have of finding him, because it only takes that one person.
There may be a chance that he might think something's not right. Maybe he's looking for us now but doesn't know the way to find us. I think now, the days that with all the technology and Facebook and things like that, I think it's getting to the point where eventually he will find us rather than us finding him.
Jane, lots of us will remember Ben as a little boy, and this is an age progression of what he would look like now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quite important to have this image out there, isn't it?
It is really important, and the good thing is with the new website that's just been brought out, it's actually got a printable poster with this age progression on. I think it's 18 languages it's available in, so actually this poster can be printed out throughout the world.
OK, and also, he was only a tiny toddler when he went missing, so he, as a 21-year-old, may not even know this whole story.
He won't, but again, with the posters, hopefully, someone may recognise him or he may recognise himself.
And his sister makes that point that maybe he will be the key, he will be one who comes back to them, as it were.
Yeah, that's always their hope, that he will recognise himself and come back.
OK, well, thank you very much, Jane.